Hello, thanks for taking 5 with me, Wolf Korlick. A few minutes riffing on IT and IT security. Today looking at disaster recovery and business continuity for COVID-19. I did a webinar earlier this week, and one of the things that was brought up was black swan events. So black swan events, right, the black swan that you think doesn't exist until you see it, was covered in the book, coincidentally enough, called The Black Swan. And the author basically said there's 3 things that make a black swan event. One, it's completely unpredictable. You don't know it's coming. You can't see it. You can't predict it. It is a once-in-a-lifetime event. 2, the black swan event carries an extreme impact to us personally, to our organizations, to our communities, whatever, severe impact. 3, even though you cannot predict it, human nature is what it is, right? We are, as I like to say, 3 cognitive biases in a trench coat. And we need to create stories. We need to create narrative. Experts need to seem expert. And therefore, people rush out to say, oh, I totally saw this coming. You could have seen the signs. So those are the 3 things that make a black swan event. Now, what's curious about that is it drives forward initiative. And the tip for you is this: when riding this wave of, hey, we need to, protect against COVID-19. We need to be able to recover. We need to have business continuity. When doing this, you need to remember how disaster recovery plans and business continuity plans go together. Because if we lose sight of that and we just create something for the black swan event, which are unpredictable and rare, it will probably never be needed again. This has a long history in the continuity and recovery consulting game, right? So 2001 happened and everyone talked about terrorists for the next 5 years. 2003 happened, and if you're in the United States and in the Northeast, there's a blackout, and everyone talked about what happens if we lose power for the next several years. And organizations who spent lots of money to build continuity and recovery plans specifically for terrorists or for power may wonder, was that money well spent? and maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but we haven't seen any blackouts and we haven't seen any major terrorist attacks. So it depends on how you structure your strategy. When doing strategies, it looks like this. You got your continuity recovery strategy that says, here is how we're going to address a set of scenarios. And you got your disaster recovery tactics that says, for that strategy, here's the steps we're actually going to do, right? Here's the process we're going to follow. When doing continuity and recovery programs, the trick is to recognize that people are concerned about asteroids, people are concerned about terrorists, people are concerned about Northeast blackouts, people are concerned about zombies, maybe not zombies, but follow me for just a minute. People are intrigued and interested and passionate about these things. So you take these scenarios and you map them to your strategies broadly so that you're addressing the black swan in the room, as it were. However, the more likely scenarios you have covered too. The one I used to use was, as opposed to preparing for a power outage, I would say, let's prepare for key systems being down for a short period of time and a longer period of time. And if those key systems are down, what do we do to bring them back up? That worked if there was a power outage for sure. It worked very well when someone did something wrong and brought the system down, which was much more likely. So the thing is, black swan events, excellent at drawing attention to issues, excellent at gaining buy-in and support, excellent at creating momentum when you're trying to implement things. But these once-in-a-lifetime events that you really can't predict, even though you think you can. These once-in-a-lifetime events are once-in-a-lifetime for a reason. So make sure that the continuity strategies you design and the recovery tactics you pick not only address the black swan events, but also address the more likely scenarios. I mentioned zombies. If you haven't checked it out, look at the CDC zombie preparedness website. That was what I was using when I was doing continuity recovery and pandemic planning for the past few years. And it was fantastic, and it did not have to have COVID-19 on the tin to work for people who are in the situation they are today. So, what do you think? What's a good way to get ready? What's a good way to look forward to prepare for the next big thing? Comment, social media, hit me up.